Hi there. Today I would like to share with you a little bit about my love for sewing. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of a rose trying to grow up, so I'll try and sit in this particular place where you can see my rose budding in the next few days. So what I wanted to share with you today is a little bit about my love for sewing. My mother had a sewing machine, but it was all piled up all the time with stuff with mending. And after 5 girls, she didn't have time to do a lot of mending, but she did have a sewing machine. So when I was in high school, I took the high school home economics course, and my teacher was Mrs. Gloria Lorenz. And I learned how to sew, and my mother could tell that I liked sewing, so she eventually gave me a sewing machine, and I think that might have been my high school graduation gift. So then I went off to college to the same place where my high school home economics teacher went, up in northwestern Wisconsin. And one of the reasons that I wanted to go up there is because the weather's cooler. I thought Chicago was too warm. And so it was cooler up there, and particularly after spending 11 years in the state of Georgia and southeastern United States, this is a welcome relief. So I spent 4 years going to school. I took Clothing 1, Clothing 2, Flat Pattern, Draping, and Tailoring. So I took all 5 of the college courses by the time I graduated. But as it turned out, the major turned into fashion merchandising, and I am not a merchandiser, and I am not a fashion queen, and I'm not a fashion hound. So at any rate, but I learned how to sew. I got married after I graduated from college and had some children. And then after Karen was born, our second one, a friend and I decided to do a custom drapery business. My friend Pam's mother had that in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So we learned how to sew custom draperies, and Pam and I did it together for 2 years, and she went on back to nursing. And I had this custom drapery business for about a total of 15 years. I enjoy sewing. And it really surprised me. I could be down in my sewing room all by myself, working on huge yards of fabric. I'd have the radio on and enjoyed my time there. But as it turned out, that it ended also in 1993. I got a job in an office, and basically my sewing ended on big time, doing any large projects. But I love to sew. And when I got married, I sewed my wedding dress. I sewed my sister's wedding dress. I helped my mother make her dress. But as time goes on, things change. I still have my sewing machine, purchased in 1972, and I'm not going to give it up. So if I do any mending, I can do it. My sister Elaine and I, we were the only 2 that picked up on her sewing. And she's not doing any sewing anymore. She's now in a nursing home in California. But if I do any mending, I can do my own. But what I find surprising, my 3 sisters that don't sew, don't, and they don't bend. They just get rid of things. And a few weeks ago, when I was up in northern Michigan, Wisconsin, vacationing, my niece gave me a little dress of her daughter's and said, "Can you please mend this?" And I said, "Well, why don't you do it yourself?" Because it was only a little hole about that big. And she said she doesn't have a sewing machine. So I don't know what people do if they don't have a sewing machine, and I don't know what they do if they don't work with their hands. So what do you do if you need to have something mended? I know I can do what I need to do, and I do it well. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Have a good day.